Now O'Brien on song. Jack O'Brien is back to present and play some of his favourite recordings.
Like a golden dream in my heart, ever smiling. You know that one? Tossilly Serenade. Well, every time we play this next singer, his voice seems to cause a sensation. Maybe it's because he had a voice that floated like gossamer in the wind. The man in question, of course, is that elegant Corsican tenor with the sunshine in his voice, Tino Rossi. Here he is, giving us in French, Tossilly Serenade, recorded in 1938.
Et l'heure est charmeuse, viens toi si frileuse, la nuit déjà comme un manteau s'étend. Viens, tout est si doux, si plein de promesses, pense à la caresse des mots d'amour qu'on écoute à genoux. Un sourire en tes grands yeux me révèle un coin des cieux. Reviens apaiser mon cœur battant à se briser. Je t'aime à jamais, sans crainte des regrets, que le bonheur berce infiniment par son fol enchantement le cher émoi de ton cœur aimant. Infiniment par son fol enchantement le cher émoi de ton cœur aimant. Le jour agonise, l'heure est exquise, enivrons-nous d'amour, toujours, toujours.
Wasn't that exquisite? Meltingly beautiful singing there from the Corsican tenor Tino Rossi. He sang Tossilly Serenade in French. When Dermot Troy died in 1962, he was only 35 years of age. It seems particularly tragic, given that a brilliant international career was beginning to open up for him. He spent 3 years at Covent Garden Opera as a lyric tenor, and he had toured the continent and had been offered a 3-year contract by Hamburg State Opera. He made a number of recordings for Radio N, and the one I've chosen is a song by Ivan Novello called Shine Through My Dreams.
Whisper your love to me. She that I may hold you in my arms tonight. Every region that I wander, sleeping, waking, makes my weary heart grow fonder, weeping, aching, like a lingering star abandoned in the sky, wondering where you are. I tread my way and sigh. Oh, flame that beckons from afar, shine through my dreams and once again, softly and secretly, whisper your love to me. Roam through my silent thoughts again, making a paradise here in my heart. Though fate may hold us far apart, she will turn our darkness to light. Make all my dreams reality, that I may hold you in my arms tonight.
The Irish tenor Dermot Troy singing Shine Through My Dreams by Ivan Novello. Dermot joined the Royal Air Force in 1945 and he stayed with them for about 3 years. But whilst he was on service, he was exposed to an explosion which profoundly damaged the hearing in one of his ears, which of course was a tremendous drawback to him as a singer. So it's amazing how successful he was as a singer, because believe me, at that professional level, correct intonation is really critical. There's a sparkling performance on offer to start this evening's programme, a catchy, charming song by Le Cahier, and it's sung by one of the most skillful singers of the past, a man who could fashion and shade a tune in fine taste. The song is called Amapola. You know the one that goes, Amapola, my pretty little poppy, you're like a pretty flower, so sweet and heavenly. But this is how it's sung by the Italians McCormack, Tito Schipa.
Que amor en los cielos se durreca, que amor escuché la tristeza, que amor que sonó en mi corazón, diciéndome así con su dulce canción. Amapola, lindísima amapola, será siempre mi alma tuya sola. Yo te quiero, amada niña mía, igual que ama la flor la luz del día. Amapola, lindísima amapola, no seas tan ingrata y ámame. Amapola, amapola, ¿cómo puedes tú vivir tan sola? entre mi alma tuya sola. Yo te quiero, amada niña mía, igual que ama la flor la luz del día. Amapola, lindísima amapola, no seas tan ingrata, ¿cómo puedes tú vivir tan sola?
Amapola by Le Caille, a souvenir of that great small-voiced lyric tenor Tito Schipa. The orchestra was conducted there by Joseph Pasternak. That was yet another link with the golden age. And every time I hear that magical voice, I'm lost in reverie. And by the way, it was Giovanni Martinelli who christened Schipa the Italian's McCormack. I'm mad about my voice. I think I have one of the most beautiful lyric soprano voices I have ever heard. It was gorgeous. That's what Leontine Price told the interviewer after she retired from opera in 1985. I loved it so much, she said, that from time to time I would take out one of my best crystal glasses, sip a little champagne and toast it. Well, I must admit that if I had a crystal glass and a little champagne, I would also toast that great soprano and that great voice while she sings The Last Rose of Summer.
Blooming
misty voice of Leontine Price with the unmistakable individual fragrance. She was singing The Last Rose of Summer there, one of Moore's melodies that was filched for the opera Martha by Friedrich von Flotow. The London Symphony Orchestra was conducted there by Edward Downes. You're going to love the next song I've chosen this evening. It's a beautiful lullaby by Sadero called Fa la Nana Bambino. I used to sing it for my own children some few years ago, and I love it dearly for sentimental reasons. The man I've chosen to sing it is that very expressive romantic French tenor, Alain Vanso. His interpretation is full of expression and tenderness. Alain Vanso, the French tenor, singing Fa la Nana Bambino by Sadero. The orchestra was conducted there by Giancarlo Amati. For my final choice this evening, I turn to a remarkable recording artist, and by all accounts, a recording engineer's dream, the one and only Richard Tauber. There were few singers who recorded more than a few hundred items back in the days of the 78s, apart from Richard Tauber, that is. He was one of those singers who loved the recording studios, and consequently he made somewhere in the region of 735 records. Some of his songs were regarded as ditties and trite, yet still the fans came to hear him in their thousands. They enjoyed his charm and his artistry, and the love which he obviously experienced in singing to them. He beguiled them in concert for a few happy hours, and charmed them away from the toils of the day with songs like Little Grey Home in the West, which, of course, was regarded as one of those lowbrow items. But to tell you the truth, I love the way he treats this song. I love the charm of his accent. He actually loves singing it. You'll hear the way he lavishes great care with his interpretation, just as he did with every song he ever sang. And this song was written by Eardley Wilmot and Herman Lohr, and it was recorded in 1934.
When the golden sun sinks in the hills, and the tile of a long day is o'er, though the road may be long, in the lilt of a song I forget I was weary before. Far ahead where the blue shadows fall, I shall come to contentment and rest. And the shade of the day will be outshone away in my little grey home of the There are hands that will welcome me in. There are lips I am burning to kiss. There are two eyes that shine just because they are mine, and a word of joy some man needs. It's a corner of heaven itself, though it's only a tumble down net. Why no place can compare with my little grey home in the West.
You'll have to start saving up if you want a record of my next singer. I'm speaking of Nina Pavlova Koshets, daughter of Pavel Koshets, a leading tenor at the Bolshoi Opera in bygone days. She was adored, and record collectors were really in love with her, and her records are real prizes. They're few, they're very rare, but they are good. I'll play you the one I've got in a minute. It's called Estrelita. Where did I first hear it? Well, I'll tell you. I was coming home from a dance one night in Ennistimon when I was walking up the main street, when the sound of a violin broke the night air, and I stopped, looked up at this house. There was light streaming from the window, and I stood there enthralled as the music of a fiddle player came wafting through the window. It was a beautiful sound, it was a lovely tune, and it became ingrained in my mind. I didn't know the name of it at the time, but I discovered in later years that it was a beautiful Mexican tune which was written by Manuel Ponce in 1914. And this is it. It's called Estrelita, and it's sung by Nina Koshets. Now, you see why I stopped to listen? That tune haunted me for years. That was Nina Koschetz singing Estrelita by Manuel Ponce, a voice that sighs, a fine chocolatey voice with deliciously floated top notes. Wasn't it gorgeous? Paul Robeson was a most eloquent singer-actor who touched the hearts and memories of people throughout the world. As you know, his natural outlet was in singing spirituals, but he enjoyed enormous popularity with the richness he added to the songs of other countries. Songs like this one, All Through the Night.
Sleep, my love, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will lend thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and dale in slumber steeping. Love alone his watch is keeping all through the night. Oh, I roam a minstrel lonely all through the night. My true harp shall praise thee only all through the night. Love's young dream, alas, is over, yet my strains of love shall hover near the presence of my lover all through the night. Hark, a solemn bell is ringing clear through the night. Thou, my love, art heavenward winging home
the traditional air All Through the Night, arranged by Somerville, sung by Paul Robeson, and sung with sincerity and deep conviction. My next choice is the American baritone John Charles Thomas, a singer with a voice that's familiar to many listeners. I'm sure he spread his vocal gold as profusely on many a concert platform as his records do on radio networks throughout the world. And, you know, it's that time of year again when Bendemeer Stream fits the mood of the passing season and our minds waft us away in flights of fancy that are flooded with memories. So whether you're driving your car or cooking in the kitchen or having a barbecue, even if you're sitting in your armchair or indeed sitting in a peaceful bower, let us knock at the gate of dreams in the company of John Charles Thomas as he sings Bendemeer Stream.
There's a bower of roses by Bendemeer Stream, and the nightingale sings round it all the day long. In the time of my childhood, 'twas like a sweet dream to sit in the roses and hear the birds song. That bower and its music I never forget, but oh, when alone in the bloom of the year, I think, is the nightingale singing there yet? Are the roses still bright by the calm Bendemeer? No, the roses soon withered that hung o'er the wave, but some blossoms were gathered while freshly they shone, and the dew was distilled from their flowers that gave all the fragrance of summer when summer was gone. Thus memory draws from delight ere it dies, an essence that breathes of it many a year. Thus bright to my soul as 'twas then to my eyes is that bower on the banks of the calm Bendemeer.
One of the great pioneers in the field of broadcasting, the baritone John Charles Thomas, the voice that commends itself to young and old alike. That was him singing Bendemeer Stream, and the orchestra was the Victor Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Frank Tours. In 1944, at the age of 20, Victoria de los Angeles gave her first public recital. It was a singular success, and from then on, it was roses all the way. The famous accompanist Ernest Newton described her as an aristocrat among singers because of her musical intelligence. I've chosen her to sing a lovely song because I imagine that song is her greatest joy. You'll hear this natural sense of rhythm, which is one of the great characteristics of Spanish singers. And I want you to look out for the impish way she plays with the rhythm and listen for the gorgeous vocal colours as she sings Iradier's La Paloma. Isn't that fabulous singing? Lovely rhythms as well, a lovely tune. That's the sort of music that's right for the velvety voice of Victoria Los Angeles as she sang La Paloma. Rafael Frubeck de Burgos conducted the Sinfonia of London. We'll continue now with another tenor, the Austrian Werner Krenn, who creates a very favourable impression every time he sings on this programme. And I must admit that it's always a pleasure to hear this sweet-toned voice that's never strained and always smooth and gentle as he sings Ich bin nur ein armer Wandergesell from The Cousin from Nowhere by Edward Kunicke.
Ich bin nur ein armer Wandergesell, gute Nacht, liebes Mädel, gute Nacht. Gar dünn ist mein Wams und gar dick ist mein Fell, gute Nacht, liebes Mädel, gute Nacht. Und oft schon dacht ich packe das Glück, doch immer noch zog mir's die Platschland zurück. Da hab ich geweint und gelacht. Ich bin nur ein armer Wandergesell. Gute Nacht, liebes Mädel, gute Nacht. Gute Nacht, gute Nacht, gute Nacht, liebes Mädel, gute Nacht. Heut lieg ich im weichen Himmelbett, gute Nacht, liebes Mädel, gute Nacht. Da schläft sich so gut und da träumt sich so nett, gute Nacht, liebes Mädel, gute Nacht. Und muss ich morgen früh wieder weg, dann nehm ich Erinnerung als einziges Gepäck und roll mich von dannen ganz sanft. Ich bin nur ein armer Wandergesell, gute Nacht, liebes Mädel, gute Nacht, gute Nacht, gute Nacht, gute Nacht, liebes Mädel, gute
Werner Krenn singing one of my favourite songs, Ich bin nur ein armer Wandergesell from The Cousin from Nowhere, composed by Kunicke. And the Vienna Folks Opera Orchestra was conducted by Anton Paulik. And I wish I had a few shillings for every time I sang that. Once a jolly swagging man came upon a billabong under the shade of a coolie battery. A trivial quiz. Hector Grant, J.P. McCall, Will Danby, William Strong, Robert Woodville, George Welsh, and Morris Evans all had something in common. Wait for it. They were the names that hid the identity of one of the most versatile singers of all time. So now you have the answer. Or have you? Yes, indeed. It's Peter Dawson, the Australian baritone who was idolised by millions of people throughout the English-speaking world. The people who loved a good song, well sung, and believe me, he sang more than a few. He sold, now listen to this, he sold 25 million records by the start of the LP era, You remember those long-playing records? And he recorded 2,500 songs under one or other of the names I mentioned earlier. His singing was simplicity itself, the voice was warm, and people loved his sincerity and his clear diction. And I know that there are people tuned in to RTE Radio 1 at this very moment who remember some of the old drawing room ballads with deep affection, songs like Tosti's Parted, which pleased audiences so much.
Joyless duties, back to the fruitless tears, loving and yet divided, all through the empty years. How can I live without you? How can I let you go? I that you love so well, dear, you that I worship so, you that I worship so. The trembling moon, hark how the wind arises, morn will be here so soon. Tell me again you love me, kiss me on lips and brow. Love of my soul, I love you. How can I leave you now? How can I live without you? How can I let you go? I that you love so well, dear, you that I worship so. I worship so, I that you love so well, dear, you that I worship so.
What a gift. He said it was a gift he was fortunate enough to have, and he had to give it back to the people who loved him. And he did it in style. Peter Dawson singing Tosti's Parted. The organ accompaniment there was by Herbert Dawson. Let's listen to two singers now whose voices are synonymous with the very best in singing. Two voices produced with the greatest of ease, as you'll discover. Two singers who knew their own voices so well that they never forced beyond the natural limits. Two natural musicians whose voices complement each other to perfection. The piece I've chosen is an oldie, a real oldie. It's a showpiece for tenor and baritone. And here are the voices of Tito Schipa and Emilio de Gogorza to sing A la luz de la luna, the first line of the song,
tells you what it's all about. By the light of the moon, I saw you and I fell in love. A la Luz de la Luna, sung by Tito Schipa and Emilio de Gagorza, a catchy little number and a great old favourite. The English tenor Alfred Pickaver had a voice that had a magical effect on the Viennese public back in 1910 when he sang the role of the Duke in Rigoletto on a trial basis. He was immediately given a permanent appointment in the Vienna Court Opera, which of course later became the Vienna State Opera, and he remained with that company for 26 years. Hans Gregor, the director of the Opera House, said that Pickaver stood head and shoulders above his German and Italian colleagues. High praise indeed. So let's hear that voice, as recorded back in 1928, as he sings a very popular old song, For You Alone, by Henry Gale.
Take now this rose, this little tender rose, the rarest flower in all God's garden fair, and let it be quiet, it screams and glows, an emblem of the land. I proudly bear. Take now this heart, so much that loves thee well. Take thou my heart, follow your dear eyes, a good fashion deed for you alone. Good fashion deed for you.
That was the ringing tenor voice of Alfred Pickaber singing For You Alone. Now, here's an old Irish ballad that gained in popularity in the past year, and I'm sure it's been heard throughout the world more often than any other Irish song. It's called She Moved Through the Fair, and it was used in the movie Michael Collins, and consequently, I'd say it's highly rated in the popularity stakes. The words were written by Padraig Cullum, and it was set to music by Herbert Hughes. And here's a version of it recorded by the Scots tenor Kenneth McKellar, which is very, very attractive. There's a few notes with the record that are relevant, so I'll read them to you, and I quote, "In the course of singing thousands of songs over many, many years, I know of only a handful which possess the atmospheric and soul-stirring qualities of this lovely song. For this recording, I've added a mere musical comment on the piano rather than what could be termed an accompaniment." And that's the end of the quote. So here's Kenneth McKellar, the Scots tenor, to remind you of the words and the music of this lovely song, She Moved Through the Fair.
My young love said to me, my mother won't mind, and my father won't slight you for your lack of kind. Then she stepped away from me, and this she did say, "It will not be long, love, till our wedding day." She stepped away from me, and she moves through the fair, and fondly I watched her move here and move there, and then she went homeward with one star awake, as the swan in the evening moves over the lake. Last night she came to me, my dead love came in, so softly she came that her feet made no din. She laid her hand on me, and this she did say,
celebrated vocal gifts of that great Scot, Kenneth McKellar, singing She Moved Through the Fair. Walter Blair was the accompanist who provided those pianistic comments. A clever device to help the singer maintain the pitch, I suppose. It was very nice. We'll move on now to a singer whose voice is familiar to most listeners. He's without doubt one of your top rankers. Definitely top of the popularity pile anyway. John Charles Thomas, that fine, rich American baritone who sang lots of great songs from a very large repertoire. The combination of his gorgeous voice and jovial personality was bound to ensure him of enormous success, and win for him an adoring public who appreciated a good singer and a good song. Now, we rarely hear him in Gilbert and Sullivan, but he did make many appearances in GNS roles with notable success. So we'll listen to him with interest and amusement as he patters his way through his catalogue of success in the Queen's Navy with carefree ease in an excerpt from HMS Pinafore, When I Was a Lad.
When I was a lad, I served a term as office boy to an attorney's firm. I cleaned the windows and I swept the floor, and I polished up the handle of the big front door. I polished up the handle so carefully that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy. As office boy, I made such a mark that they gave me the post of a junior clerk. I served the writs with a smile so bland, and I copied all the letters in a big round hand. I copied all the letters in a hand so free that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy. In serving writs, I made such a name that an article clerk I soon became. I wore clean collars and a brand new suit for the pass examination at the Institute. That pass examination did so well for me that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy. Of legal knowledge I acquired such a grip that they took me into the partnership. And that junior partnership, I ween, was the only ship that I ever had seen. That kind of a ship so suited me that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy. I grew so rich that I was sent by a pocketborough into Parliament. I always voted at my party's call, and I never thought of thinking for myself at all. I thought so little they rewarded me by making me the ruler of the Queen's Navy. Now, landsmen all, whoever you may be, if you want to rise to the top of the tree, if your soul isn't fettered to an office stool, be careful to be guided by this golden rule. Stick close to your desks and never go to sea. And you all may be rulers of the Queen's Navy.
Wasn't that a nice departure from the songs we normally hear him sing? I really enjoy that. He made a great hand of it. That was the American baritone, John Charles Thomas, a voice that commends itself to young and to old alike, one of the great pioneers in the area of broadcasting and recording. Elizabeth Schumann was revered for her lieder recitals, particularly the works of Schubert. Her voice was described thus: fresh as spring, her personality warm as a summer's day, and both are always welcome, as one critic put it. One of her favourite novelty pieces was a song called The Nightingale from Der Vogelhändler by Zeller. The song is really a tenor song, but the reason Elizabeth Schumann loved to sing it was that she could actually whistle like a nightingale in between the verses. She said that she had learned to whistle as a child because the family had a pet canary, and so she used to mimic birdsong to get the canary to sing. Anyway, here she is singing and whistling the Nightingale song from Der Vogelhändler by Zeller. Wasn't that a charmer? Anyway, that was Elizabeth Schumann singing the Nightingale song from the Vogelhändler by Ziller. Dennis Noble was a baritone I used to hear way back in the days when opera in English was the thing, if there was any opera at all. And the cast was usually drawn from people like Joan Cross, Heddle Nash, Webster Booth, and if there was a baritone, it was invariably Dennis Noble. He came from Bristol, from the Cathedral Choir, and in 1916 he joined the army, went to France and was wounded, and of course that ended his military service. Some time later he joined a concert party at Herne Bay, and from there he went to Westminster Abbey Choir, and one day he was singing in some cinema before the showing of a silent version of The Prisoner of Zenda, and he was heard by the director of Covent Garden. That's how he started an opera. He had small parts first, then the bigger ones, and during the 1931 season he sang Germont to the Violetta of Rosa Poncel. Exalted company indeed. He was regarded as a good and useful company singer, and his friends regarded him as a true professional. In later life, by the way, he spent a number of years in Dublin as a singing teacher. And here he is, singing Even Bravest Heart from Faust, recorded back in 1939.
Even bravest heart may swell in the moment of farewell, loving smile of sister kind, quiet home I leave behind. Oft shall I think of you whenever the wine cup passes round, when alone my watch I keep, and my comrades lie asleep among their arms upon the tented battleground. God to glory shall call me, I still will be first in the fray, as blithe as a knight in his bridal array, as a knight in his bridal array. Careless what fate may befall me, careless what fate may befall me, when glory shall call me. Yet the bravest heart may swell in the moment of farewell, loving smile of sister kind, quiet home I leave behind. Oh, to shall I sadly think of you when far away, far
Perfect diction there, very stylish singing indeed, from the baritone Dennis Noble, singing Even Bravest Heart from Faust by Gounod.
I can hardly end this series of O'Brien on Song without playing my all-time favourite soprano, Rosa Ponsell. To me, she had the richest sounding voice of all. People who heard her spent a lot of time searching for comparisons to describe her voice. Descriptions like port wine, roses, pansies, velvet, and cream. To me, she was all of those. She had a fine technique which helped her to sing the difficult role of Norma at one end of the scale, and at the other end, the lovely sentimental ballad called A Perfect Day.